Hello and welcome to IBTimes UK. It's my great pleasure to welcome Edmund Shing, who is well known to all of you, I'm sure, is an asset management at BCS Asset Management and runs the keenly read Idle Investor website and is a new columnist for IBTimes UK. So welcome to that,
Thank you,
Edmund.
George.
You've come to us today to talk to us about the Halloween effect in the stock markets. What's that about? What's the Halloween effect?
Well, George, the Halloween effect is a very simple seasonal effect, which basically states that between the end of October of one year and the end of April the next year, you tend to have the best 6-month performance for stock markets pretty much worldwide.
Well, that's interesting, Edmund, but aren't you just talking the market up as an asset manager? Because, I mean, the FTSE's lost 8% in just a month lately.
Well, I turn it around, George. I'd actually say it's a great time to invest. Because remember what the great investor Warren Buffett always said, invest when other people are fearful. You should be greedy when they're fearful. They're fearful right now, so now's a great time.
Well, you've got to be careful about sounding like an estate agent, Ed. You know, oh, it's a great time to buy because property is really cheap and it's going to get more expensive. But can we be sure that the fundamentals are in place for an improvement through to next spring?
It's a fair point, George. I think you do have to look at the sort of wider economic context. And it is true in a global context, there are some issues about the Eurozone, for instance. There's no growth there. But if we were to focus in, let's say, on the UK, we could say, actually, there's pretty good growth in the UK. You know, unemployment is doing well. GDP growth is as strong as it has been for many a year. Looking further afield, the US is pretty decent. Even China, I would argue, is still doing 7% growth. So when you look at it as a whole, I would actually say there's plenty of growth still out there to go for.
And where are the best opportunities in the Halloween effect this year, in your view?
Well, typically, the strongest seasonal effects, George, are seen both in the UK, so clearly the FTSE 100 would be one classic index. Second index, bizarrely enough, is the German DAX index. Bizarrely enough, the German stock market, for some reason, is intensely seasonal. And actually has a huge difference in performance between the Halloween part of the year and then the summer part of the year. And we are just entering the Halloween part of the year. German stocks have actually been hammered quite hard in the latest downdraft. So it may be a good time as a contrarian investor, for instance, to say that's where the value is today.
And then, of course, there's there's the New Year effect that we should look forward to. Is that something for the common investor, the January effect in smaller stocks, maybe?
Exactly. Now that, as you say, George, this January effect in small cap stocks has been widely documented in the US, but also in the UK. And I would say definitely, as you get into December, you don't even have to wait for January. But as you come into mid-December, getting towards Christmas, actually you tend to get very strong outperformance from the smaller cap side of the equation. Now, you could either buy some small cap stocks individually, or you could just buy a fund. Personally, I would buy an investment trust or an ETF that tracks the smaller cap universe, either in the US or the UK, to capture that effect.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, Ed. We look forward to the Halloween effect this year, and you can read more about the Halloween effect and much else besides in Edmund Shing's new column with IBTimes UK. We look forward to speaking to you again, Edmund, and I think the message is take advantage of the Halloween effect, but don't get grabbed by the ghoulies.